What's up? What's up? What's up? This morning, happy successful Sundays. I hope everyone is doing well. And I'm just gonna try to fit. There we go. Boom. Big screen. Happy successful Sunday. Welcome to another live session. Hope y'all are doing exceptionally well. Shout out to our Blue Jays. They lost yesterday. Shout out and congrats to the LA Dodgers who won the World Series. I myself was in bed. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was not paying attention to the game too tough. But I just kept checking on Google to see like where it was at, and we lost. But anyways, congrats to LA Dodgers. Shout out to Blue Jays for doing what they did. So today we're really going to be talking about how to set ourselves up for 2026. Believe it or not, today is November 2nd, which is odd to even think that 2025 is slowly coming to an end. So this is the time where we could start thinking about the goals we want to set for 2026, which is even odd to say, but here's where we are. And before we get any further, let's just clear the energy. We're gonna breathe in through our nose and sigh it out through our mouth. Let's just get some good energy in, especially when we're talking about goal setting. So I want you to breathe in through your nose. We're gonna do it 3 times. Hold your breath at the top if you're able to do so for 3 seconds and sigh it out afterwards. So in through your nose. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Sigh it out through your mouth. There you go. 2 more times. In through your nose. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Sigh it out through your mouth. Here you go. One more time, all right? In through your nose. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Sigh it out. There you go. Yeah, you get that good energy rolling. Get any energy that was holding us and weighing us down out. If we had a week where it's just been a tricky one, life be life and people be peopling. So we just got to get that energy cleared out so new energy could come in. So today we're going to be talking about um getting to know what we truly want in 2026. And the point of this is as we get to thinking about goals and stuff like that, if you've been kind of, rock with me for a while, I pre-plan and prepare months before January even hits. I don't believe in New Year resolutions. I believe in strategy and setting ourselves up for success because there's obviously we've seen it. People will sign up for the gym. The gyms will put out this ad, "Hey guys, sign up, sign up." A whole bunch of people sign up. It's full in the beginning and then it just empties out. I think that it's because of we want to do it, but we're not ready to do it. So we need to set clear intentions of what it is that we want to plan for 2026. And this is the episode for you to not just think of the goals, but set yourself up and have clarity for the goals. And we're going to walk through 3 powerful exercises to help you uncover what is it you truly want, and not just what you think you want, but what is it that you truly want for 2026. And I'm hoping by the end of this live session you'll be ready to start thinking about goals and stuff like the vision boards and things like that, but more aligned with your authentic self and more aligning with your authentic life and going in that direction. So the couple of key words that you're going to be hearing and I want you to keep in the back of your brain is not just goals, but clarity and authenticity. Those are the 2 words that I want you to think more of when you're, even if you're just jotting down some ideas you have of how you want to set yourself up for success in 2026. So let's waste no time. Let's get right into it because we gonna get to the nitty gritty here. So as you move into 2026, I want you to take a pause from the vision boards for a moment. You're going to see a lot of, even myself, like I'm going to be posting about goal setting and stuff like that for a moment. But this live is so important because it's getting to know what is that you even really want. This is where the clarity aspect comes in. Like before you even start thinking about manifesting and this and that, this is the clarity aspect that you need, the thought process of what is it and becoming clear of it. Because oftentimes when we set goals, we set them based off what other people are seeing. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Sorry, other people are doing. And it's not even the goal that we even want to set. So When was the last time you set a goal and you realized later that that wasn't even your goal in the first place? I mean, we I'm going to use social media as an example. We'll look at social media, we see somebody doing something and you aspire to be like them, which I get it. You aspire to have some of the things that they have. That's, motivating to you, inspiring to you. But the thing is, your life and their life are two different things. So there along the way, you're going to almost internalize their goal but realize this is not fitting for me. So I want you to just keep this question in mind. Like, when was the last time you set a goal and realized later it wasn't even your goal? And I remember even hitting a milestone myself. And as I've been going through this, entrepreneur journey and creating content, people are like, this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to do, and this. And I just said, you know what, to hell with all of it. This is what I'm going to do. And as I've been doing what I want to do, I've gained more, I could say more, I would say like more people that are tapping into just who I am. And I don't have to show up as someone else. I show up as myself. I've taken the mask off. And I think a lot of us could think about it where we carry this mask where we think we have to be a specific way. And I carried that mask for many years. And once I took that sucker off and realized how lighter it was on and freeing it was on this side, I said I would never put that mask back on. So this is where I owe it to clarity. This is why this episode this live is so important to me, because I owe it a lot of my success to me just being myself, but it started with clarity of figuring out who I was. Remember, the two words I want you to remember is clarity and authenticity. These are the two important words for us to go forward. So why clarity comes before goals? I want you to think about the goals that we plan, right? Most of us don't plan our goals. We tend to we copy what other people are doing because it looks fantastic and we see the results of what they have and we feel that's what I want to do. For example, people ask me, I lost 40 pounds literally a year now. It's been a year. I started around this time. And they ask me, oh, how did you do it? How do you keep it off? Blah, blah, blah. And I break it down. I'll even tell you right now. I lost 40 pounds based off of a calorie deficit. I eat primarily just protein and veggies. Like once a blue moon, I'll have carbs, but it's very less than likely. And if it is a carb, it's usually potatoes because it's a vegetable. That's just how I see it. Very rarely you'll ever hear me say like I want rice. And as a Jamaican, we love rice and peas. But I've had to like step back from a lot of the portion sizes. The portions of how I eat have changed drastically. And people will look at me and be like, man, I want to do what you did. And I'm just like, yo, I worked out 30 minutes a day, got up at 6 a.m. and worked out. I aimed for 10K steps a day. Soft drinks gone, sugary stuff gone. I still have a problem with pastries. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But like a lot of us, we look at other people's goals and we copy them. We compare, we see what their vision and version of success is and we think like that's what I want to do, but truth of the matter is you're liking the results of what they did. You're liking and you're falling in that aspect of the results. So here is the thing when it comes towards clarity. You can look at what they did, but now you got to figure out, and this is how you could set a goal, because once you find this clarity piece, you're Gucci. You could figure out how you could get to a similar goal to them. Let's say that I'll use the 40 pounds thing as an option, as an example, sorry. How can I do that with where I'm at in this point of my life? Because I may have less responsibilities than you do, right? So there may be a slower pace that you have to go at. This is something you got to think of. You could ask me, how did you do it? Like, could you help me to? Absolutely. People are willing to help, but you have to figure out a way. And this is why I love coaching so much, because it's not a one size fits all. Like I've never coached the same client back to back to back. Doesn't happen. This morning I coached literally 3 clients and none of them were the same. Not one. And I love that because it allows me to even just tag along on their goals of their success moving forward. It allows me to use this lovely brain of mine to help them gain that clarity to move forward. Not not all success is one size fits all, and it may not fit for you. I want you to remember that. So think again, pressures of the social media is a massive one. Your family, like that, the pressure from your family, we may not have the same amount. The difference between what looks good and what feels good. Again, I'm going to use the 40 pounds thing as an example. Some people are like, yo, you lost all that weight. Don't you want to get abs? Absolutely not. Sorry. I like the size that I'm at. I feel good. I'm Gucci. I feel good. I'm moving better. My clothes, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. The whole point of it was my clothes to fit back into my clothes. And now I don't fit in them suckers. I lost too much. And I got my pants all over again. Another story. But I feel good. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel great? Like, I think there's a difference between like what looks good for the eye of the public and society and what makes you feel great. And how this can lead into burnout, confusion, and feeling disconnected because I could give you the gems of all gems that many people have used before, but it may not work for you. And this is why it's important for us not to follow what other people are doing when we're setting our goals. This is why it's important for us to take a step back and figure out what really will work for us in this season. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, there's things that I've done and helped me push forward in the past that do not meet me where I am right now. The mere thought of it, I'm like, I don't want to do it. But I could definitely do this. And whatever the this is, it still taps into that old thing, but it works for me in a different way because of where I am right now. This is why I say like it's important. You can look at the internet all you want. You can look at social media all you want. You can see what the other person's doing, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you the same way they do it. I want you to think about take a penny, leave a penny. I'm aging myself, dear God. But I'm aging. When I used to go to stores, they used to have this little container that said take a penny, leave a penny. Obviously, I don't Canada doesn't have pennies anymore. But you would leave a penny for somebody else in case they needed like 5 cents or something like that. I want you to think of when you see social media to take a penny, leave a penny. In terms of you could take pieces to make up what it is that you're trying to do. You don't have to internalize all of it. But you could take pieces to get you to where you want to go. You don't have to do all of it. I once I remember one time like I had a person that I was, let's say, like, I'm trying to word this in the best way. Sometimes you may think that you want more when you actually have already. So what I mean by that is in terms of finding the clarity is you may look at somebody, you could see they have, because I keep seeing on the internet, 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures. Great. I know a lot of people that make 6 figures and they're miserable. I ain't gonna lie to you. Then by the time that they kill coach, man, I'm good on the financial aspect, but you know why that is? It's because sometimes it's not the money. This is why I say stop looking what other people are doing. Don't internalize what other people are doing because you may have a sense of richness. You may have a sense of being that they want. You may have it. I'm gonna use Simpsons as the best example. Mr. Burns had all the money he could think of, but the man was evil and miserable. He was so evil and miserable, and no one wanted to be around him. So imagine you could inspire, you could look at somebody and be like, man, I want to go on flights. I want all that money. I want all that. It may not even just be the money that you're looking for. It could just be like, I just want stability. Now you could build your goals around stability. You kind of see what I'm saying with this? Like, you don't have to get exactly what everybody is wanting off of their 30-second highlight reel. You don't have to. Refrain from that, please. Please. Because you can't chase a dream that doesn't belong to you and expect peace when you catch it. You have to chase a dream that is yours. This is why I say authenticity is so important. It is hard, especially if you've been wearing a mask for so long and you've seen others in your life wear a mask and you're unlearning that. I love this generation so much because we are unlearning a lot of things that we realized did not serve the people before us. And we are changing the narrative so the people after us, the little humans after us, could actually have a bit more peace in their life. Still a little shaky, but we're actually actively doing the work. And again, you cannot chase a dream that doesn't belong to you and expect peace to catch, was to expect peace when you catch it, because you could end up with chaos, because it ain't your dream. Again, this is why clarity is so important. So when you uncover what it is that you really want, we're gonna break it down with the next exercise. It has to begin with your energy. Your energy is so important in where you're going into 2026. is so important. How you speak to yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you feel about yourself, all of it is important. And a great way to do that is with the first exercise is an energy audit. I do this every Sunday. In fact, I'm going to be doing this literally after my live here. And I'll probably edit this as well. And then I'll do my energy audit. This is a good time for you to grab a piece of paper, grab a journal. Again, if you're not feeling the whole writing out thing, do audio journal, do a video journal. I want you to grab a piece of paper, notepad, whatever you feel that you're comfortable with, right? I want you to draw like 2 columns. If you have Canva and you're creative like that, you could do it on Canva too. Grab 2 and just draw 2 columns, right? I want you to think of your typical week: work, relationships, your habits, and your routines, okay? In your columns. When you think about it, where do you feel the most alive and where do you feel the most resentful? Huh. Like, remember, you're going to have the columns. I guess it'll be 4 columns. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to picture it. But yeah, you have the 4 columns and then you have work, relationships, habits, and routines. I don't know. I have a sneaky suspicion everyone's going to say like work. They feel the most resentful, which I get it. I get it. Right. But I want you to put like, where do you feel the most resentful and where do you feel the most alive? Your habits, routines, maybe even your relationships that you have, the connections. And I don't mean just mean like your relationship with a significant other. It could be, relationship with family, friends, platonic, all that stuff. And where do you feel that energy feeling? The meaningful conversations, the creative aspect. Remember, I just said, like, if you're good with Canva, where do you feel like you could create more, serving others? Like, for example, for me, I feel the most alive serving others. I realize that my purpose on this earth is to not just be the dopest of all dopest, Coach AJ, dope life coach, dopest life coach out there, but just serving others. I realize that God intended me to be one of his servants. And I take that role seriously. And I also had to realize I had to be almost like a servant for myself. Because if I don't take care of me and being such an empath and pouring into everybody else, I got nothing to give to no one. Right? And this is where energy comes in. And what is draining you? Consistent comparison, saying yes, out of guilt, lack of rest. I'm specifically talking. I did this thing the other day. My notes are over there, and I was just thinking about how like burnout shows up differently for people, and I really want to share this with you because I feel we don't realize like how there could be so many forms of burnout. You know what I mean? I think when we think about burnout, primarily, even myself, I just tucked it up, kind of chucked it up to like, work. But it's so different from that. I'm specifically speaking to the females right now. There's like the nurture burnout, which is like the moms out there, those empaths, the aunties and the ones that just constantly are giving and nurturing to people to the point where they ain't giving nothing to themselves, right? And we feel like they need me. I could rest later. You know what I mean? Like that really hit when I thought about that one. The other note I had was like the visionary burnout, entrepreneurship, where you slow down, you feel like you're gonna miss the mark. If you take a seat and take a step back, you're gonna miss an opportunity. The pressure of to keep going and keep proving, it drains you over time. Kind of tapping into the empath, the burnout, emotional burnout, absorbing everyone's pain and energy until you can't even tell what's even yours, what's even your energy, right? And then I had this, I really thought about this one. I think a lot of people go through it and they don't talk about it. The invisible giver, the person who gives and gives and gives and cheers and supports and supports and supports, but it's unreciprocated to them. And they get to a point where they get resentful and upset and annoyed, and they keep saying yes because we don't want to feel as if we're being the bad person. We don't want to upset people. Now I'm going to shift it over to the males for a second cuz I really thought, I'm like, yo, they got to have burnout too. They don't talk about it, but I know they probably have it. Provider burnout. Constantly the pressure of having it all together and being the one that constantly has to provide. Financially, emotionally, mentally, being that anchor, that leader of the home. Protectors burnout, always being on guard, especially in the way the world is now, like always keeping a six of what's around you. Performers burnout, where you feel like you have to constantly make sure that your body's in check so you can go out in the world and perform and be of the duties that you're supposed to do, or as they say, you're supposed to do. And the silent burnout, which is unfortunately like the silent killer in an odd way, where you're carrying the quiet pain because you don't want to appear weak or a burden to others. And it really made me think about how we need to start doing energy audits more to prevent that from happening. Maybe I'll do another episode on that one day. But you could reflect on, kind of going back, reflect on the meaning of the things that drain you and showing you misaligned, the things that energize you, point you to your purpose. I want you to think about that when you're doing this journal entry as well. And if you need to pause if you feel like your energy is so depleted that you need to pause. But once you figure out what drains you the most, or what fuels you, you'll be able to know what to pour into more, especially going into the new year. Because I feel like a lot of us, I've the more people I speak with, clients I work with, workshops that I do, keynote speaking, is a lot of us are pouring into things that we don't want to pour into. And it's important for you to get to know your values, get to know what is energy suckers and what is lifting your energy up, so that in 2026 you don't feel like you are just kind of floating in terms of I don't know where I am, but you're floating in terms of ease. Such a massive difference there. The exercise number 2 is start taking more of a visual aspect. Like, now that you know where your energy is, we're gonna go a little bit more deeper in alignment. And if you heard me say that word before, I truly believe in alignment. Everything starts with energy, even money. Money is energy. And then the more that you put out that energy, like going back to exercise number 1, the more that you figure out where your energy lies and how to shift it into energy to work for you, that's how the alignment aspect comes in. Now, I want you to ask yourself, if no one could judge me, what would I really want? If you had no judgment from family, friends, anyone around you, society, what would I really, really want? What kind of lifestyle do I want? Not the job title, but like your daily flow. What are some of the things that you'd like to incorporate into your life more? And what values matter the most to you in this next season? And if you don't know what kind of values you want to, like what your values are, literally type in, can you provide me a list of values? Boom, it will give you the list: kindness, compassion, this. Then you can figure out which ones are important to you. Now, there's a lot of values, I ain't gonna lie to you, but it will break it down in so many ways of what is important to you. Hold up. Yes, unmasking is so freeing. I agree. I I can't help but think how many of us carry this mask. And I also want to say, like, masking is generational. There's people in your life right now that has worn a mask just to survive, and they thought that that was the reaction and the way that they had to live. And then we internalize that. But again, the one thing I love about our generation is that we're unlearning all of this, which is so dope. And even as like my mother's looking at it and saying, like, you guys are really doing something different. So even some of that people from that generation are open to say, like, wow, y'all are really doing something different. And here's the cool part about it too, about the whole masking thing. We get to show them, even in their later age, you don't got to carry that mask. And I don't know about y'all, but just having those conversations with those who are elders and say like, nah, you don't, man, you don't got to do that. And them kind of be like, you think so? Having that sense of rapport is so cool. Like, I can't stress that or employ that or say that enough. Let's talk about real quick the shoulds. Like, I say the word the shoulds because one thing in coaching we talk about how important we have to guide our clients to get away from the should. Because like, who says that? Who told you you should be doing that? Who told you? It's something that we kind of say, and it's I have to even remind myself. Society tells you, oh, this person told you, oh, okay. But notice where the shoulds are, or or I have tos are. Those are often clues that your goal isn't fully yours. Yeah, those are often signs that what you're thinking of is, or what you're seeing and you're like, I should do that. Who's telling you you should? And that's where I would say, like, well, why do you think you should do that? What are the benefits of you doing that? And how could you incorporate it in where you are today? And what steps can we take to incorporate it? And who's going to hold you responsible along the way? Sorry, I just gave you a little bit of a coaching session there, so you can go back and forth and figure out how to release yourself from the word should, and you could take power of what it is that you want to do. That's the whole point. Because when your vision aligns with your values and who you are, it becomes easier. It becomes freeing. It's more flowing with ease versus like restraint. And when you start thinking about the sense of ease you could receive when you're focusing on the things that actually align with you through the energy that you want to put out and you want to carry through 2026, it changes your perspective completely. I did it in 2025, and the sense of flow, my wording was, we've planted, we now we're going to reap the crop, but we're also going to sense with a sense of flow and eat. Man, it made a massive difference. So understand that what I'm saying here and the exercises that I'm giving you, I do them myself. My clients do them as well. And I've seen the results. So this is why I'm dropping the gems on you as well. So let's move on to exercise number 3. I love this exercise so much. In fact, I'm going to be opening mine soon. I write a letter to myself every year. I write a letter to myself dating the date. So, for example, today is November 2nd, 2025. So I would write November 2nd, 2026, and I open it up on November 2nd, 2026. So I have mine dated for December, I believe, and I can't wait to open it. I write myself a letter, basically just telling myself, this is where we've done, this is where we are, and I want to very heavily say this. Do not say stuff like, we've made $1 million, which you can, but like, go a little bit deeper. Don't go surface level. Go deeper. We have peace. We have slow mornings now. We take care of ourselves daily. We check in with ourselves. We have a sustainable business, sustainable career. I'm able to show up for my kids a bit more. I'm able to show up for myself a bit more. I'm surrounded by love. You know what I mean? Like, get more into the deeper aspect of where you are with yourself, and also talk to yourself like, I typically will say, yo, sis, look what we've done, blah 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 blah. And I go on like that. I talk to myself as if like I'm talking to myself, but in a very loving, kind, cool, compassionate kind of way of showing up for me. And then I date it, I put it on my cork board, and I don't open it until the year later. So I love that activity. I'm going to be posting it soon because we got to start writing ourselves that letter. And I can't wait to open mine, to be honest. I've been doing it for the last, I think it's my 7th year now. I can't remember. I've been doing it for a good minute, and I've gotten a lot of other people to do it this as well. Got clients to do it, and every time they're like, "Coach, why'd you make me do it?" Not in a sense of um, it hurt them, but more of like it gained them clarity and it brought them like a healing of themselves. And I think it's super dope. So definitely do that. And I want you to remember this also when it comes towards goals, getting clear for your goals. Goals is not just about what you're going to receive in the end. Setting a goal is it's a journey along the way, and this is part of it. You gaining the clarity and you becoming more authentic with yourself, taking that mask off, becoming more freeing within yourself, holds so much more power than that goalpost at the end of the goal. So much more power. I used to think of goals like, yeah, I'm going to get to that goal, blah, 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 until I just sat in the journey, embraced the journey, loved the journey. And now the goal, it's great. Sometimes I even forget that I hit the goal because I'm so enamored in the journey of it. And I love that aspect of it. And that I forget sometimes about the goal. But with that also being said, I do celebrate the goals. But I also want to tap in that doing these 3 steps, these 3 activities before you even think about the goals allows you to create goals directly from you, not from external, but very much internal. So remember, the first one is doing an energy audit, um, checking your alignment, the vision of your alignment, and then, yeah, writing yourself, your future self, a letter. In the comments below, if you want, I could add the instructions for each. Maybe I'll even create a quick guide for you guys to download and use. And please, 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 please take your time with this. When you're setting goals, set it from a space of peace and relaxation. Do not set any goals from a sense of urgency. Like, I need to set this goal because it's 2026 is coming in 2 months. No. Take a massive step back. Because remember, the first step is energy. So that's an important step there. Take a massive step back and set your energy, just like how we set the tone of this live from taking 3 deep breaths at the beginning. Set this your energy that you want to pour that good energy into 2026. Because at the end of the day, life's gonna be life and people's gonna be people. There's nothing we could do about that. But we can control the energy we put into it, our energy. Then you could start getting into the second exercise, which is alignment, and you could tap more into that. And then once you have those 2 steps, when you write that letter to yourself, dating from that day, whatever day you write it, into the future of that date, you're pouring that good energy into it. You're pouring that love, that care, that kindness, that compassion. You're pouring all of it. So I hope you enjoyed today's live session. And we're going to be talking about goal setting and setting yourself for success in 2026 pretty much for the remaining of the month. So please tap in. I'm gonna be doing vision boards, but I think that this step is so important because a lot of people say, yeah, I want to do da, 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 da. But there's another step of finding the clarity and finding the authenticity so that you can set goals that you are able to achieve from where you are in your life. But not only that, but that the energy that you're going to pour into it, it's so incredibly important. So I hope you enjoyed today's live session. I appreciate for those of you who've tapped in. Greatly appreciate it. And keep a lookout for this Tuesday, the Dope Life podcast. New episode will be dropping. Again, a lot of the episodes and a lot of the lives are going to be centering around how to set ourselves up for 2026. 2025 has been a great year for me. So now I'm just pouring everything that I've learned into y'all and how you all can be at your best when you're setting your goals for 2026. I appreciate every single last one of y'all. I hope you have a great week ahead and a great rest of your Sunday. I will see you on Tuesday when the new episode drops. Again, y'all, thank you. Hope you got some new gems. You know what to do. Walk with peace, walk with love.